In the last few episodes, we have discussed a Romulan star empire that has largely been isolationist, a government content to sow discord from afar, only showing interest in directly involving itself when Vulcan is involved. It's not a bad strategy, as we see that by staying behind mystery, they are able to up their game. When looking at the backstory of the Romulans, you can get a very distinct understanding in the original series episode, The Enterprise Incident. In this episode, James Kirk appears to have gone mad and thrusts the USS Enterprise, no bloody A, B, C, or D, into the Romulan neutral zone. During this act of war, the Enterprise finds nothing on sensors at all, only for the vessel to be surrounded by 3 Romulan ships shortly after. All of them, or at least 2 of them, depending on which version of the episode you want to watch, are Klingon models. We never get a real clear answer as to why the Romulans utilize the Klingon designs, or if it's some form of alliance. However, given what we saw in the original series episode Balance of Terror, it is possible that the defeat of the ship that was the prize of the Praetor pushed the Romulan military to start massive improvements to their technology. This could have resulted in a minor alliance with the Klingons in order to utilize their technology to improve on Romulan design. In theory, they could have exchanged the Romulan cloaking device because, there's absolutely no evidence Klingons had the tech before that. And thus, the Romulans would have innovated on what they previously had. This is in fact bolstered by the fact that during the original series episode we were talking about before, again the Enterprise Incident, the dialogue indicates that the cloak has been improved so much that Starfleet can no longer detect it, this creating a massive risk to Starfleet security, which is something Starfleet would worry about, being an actual military and all. And the use of Klingon ships definitely wasn't related to a union issue and the production company not paying the person who made the model for them, or some hapless intern tripping and destroying the model, whichever story you want to believe. It wasn't any of that. No, definitely this was planned and in-universe. While a breakdown of the Enterprise Incident as an entire episode is outside the scope of this lore series, it is intriguing to watch how the Romulans interact with the Enterprise crew. After the Enterprise has ventured too far into Romulan space, it is surrounded by 3 Romulan ships, as I've noted. The cloaks on these vessels are perfect being relative, ensuring that they can't be detected by Starfleet technology. The Romulans ultimately want the Enterprise as some form of trophy and wish to parlay with the captain. They trade 2 of their own for Kirk and Spock. The commander, a strong Romulan woman, fuck off social justice warriors who think Discovery was the first to think of that concept, is intrigued more by Spock than she is Kirk. Again, it's fascinating and shows how the Romulans have a strong disposition to want to be rejoined with the Vulcans. There's also a hint of Romulan intelligence working in the background, possibly the precursor to the Tal Shiar, if not them specifically, as the Romulan commander speaks of individuals being known on different Starfleet vessels, showing the Romulans already have their tendrils out there and within the United Federation of Planets. Ultimately, the Enterprise is able to steal the cloaking technology from the Romulans, and based on dialogue from the Romulan commander and Spock, it is insinuated that Starfleet intends to use the tech. Which I'm sure they will, and from now on, Starfleet will of course have cloaking technology. Understandably, a lot of people have been very critical of the Star Trek series Enterprise when looking at Romulan lore and its impact on the original series. While there are some major concerns, ironically both Enterprise and the original series do what they need to do for the Romulans. They give an adequate backstory. The truth is, we don't have a ton of information on the Romulans in either series. However, in both The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, the Romulans become pivotal in some stories. The Romulans are secretive. They stay in the shadows, only striking when they think they have a chance. Beyond this, they are highly militaristic and have an affinity for rejoining Vulcan. This is all very vital parts of the backstory that informs what we are going to be seeing in the future. For all of the faults and lack of lore that we have in Enterprise and the original series, they did help more flesh out what we would see. I don't think the future lore, which will be more in-depth, would have been as critical as in-depth without these episodes. Ultimately, the Romulans would retreat behind their border to largely become an unknown. That is, until we take a more in-depth look at them when they make their presence aware again in the 24th century.